Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today, a time of eclectic reading, sharing of perspectives, meditation, and prayer. I'm Reverend Ray Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the newly joined Centers for Spiritual Living Communities of Greater Baltimore and Columbia. Today is December 11th. And this morning I am reading from Science of Mind magazine, the March 2023 edition. And I'm reading from page 57, which is actually the March 24th daily guide. The last paragraph, I believe this is Reverend Michael Gott. Here's what I believe. Whatever our need, Spirit has already provided the solution. It is only waiting our recognition and receptivity. Maybe we start by acknowledging that we need each other. We need connection and belonging. Then we can open our minds to the truth that this sense of belonging is already here for us. Then we can open our hearts to receive the love others are ready to give as we give our love to them. It's no secret that here in the United States, things are a bit tumultuous right now. We are more divided than I have ever experienced us to be in the almost 66 years I've been on this planet. And the sad part of that to me, the sadness in that, is that the division seems to be feeding our sense of individuality. That we seem to be creating more divisiveness rather than coming together as community. And that is going to continue to challenge us. Right? We belong to each other. I think it was Mother Teresa who said, if we don't experience peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. One of the things that I understand from the teachings of Science of Mind is the wholeness aspect. That if you're sick, I'm sick, right? If you are experiencing poverty, I'm experiencing poverty. And that when we separate ourselves, we're actually practicing duality rather than Science of Mind. And it's challenging in this human realm. Let's just be honest about it. It's tough to be in this physical realm that everything feels separate and navigate a wholeness where we live into an experience of connection, of inseparability, to really own our oneness and our wholeness without demanding sameness, to be individualized expressions of one thing without doing so with any sense of separation. That's the journey. That's why we call it spiritual practice, because it takes practice. It is just mind-numbingly challenging as a human being to get there until it's not, right? Because once, my experience, and this all I can speak from, folks, is my experience, is that as soon as I glimpsed the truth of wholeness, it instantly became easier. When I learned to look past behavior to the truth of someone's being, then it was easy to feel connected. But it's not easy to look past behaviors that are horrifying to us. that are horrifying to anybody, right? And to really grasp that no one is their behavior, and that our circumstances are not permanent. You know, and maybe we start by leaning into we're not a victim if it rains on our picnic. And then we extrapolate that experience so that we're not getting stuck in circumstances, but knowing that the solution to every circumstance that we experience that we feel needs to change, the solution is already present. Because believing that it's present empowers us to know what it is, to grasp it mentally in this human form, and to act upon it, to bring it into fruition, to bring it into manifestation, to bring it into actuality in this human realm. But we have to be willing to be open to it, and that means we have to let go of being a card-carrying member of the Ain't It Awful Club. Right? To be card-carrying members of Divine Revelation Club. The answers are in us. You may be holding the brilliant answer to some problem that we're all struggling with. What would it be like if you allowed yourself to know what that is and shared it with anybody who would listen? I think we would heal this place called Earth and this experience called humanity. I know the power exists within us. So that's what comes alive in me reading that. Good morning, Spencer and Juco. Always like to acknowledge anybody that I can see is joining us online. So I'm going to read this through one more time and invite us to just take it into our 5-minute time of practice of just being present with whatever comes. Not trying to make anything happen, not trying to prevent anything from happening, just being quietly present with what is. Here's the reading again. Here's what I believe. Whatever our need, Spirit has already provided the solution. It is only awaiting our recognition and receptivity. Maybe we start by acknowledging that we need each other. We need connection and belonging. Then we can open our minds to the truth that this sense of belonging is already here for us. Then we can open our hearts to receive the love others are ready to give as we give our love to them. So let's take that into our time of meditation. And so as I breathe deeper into this awareness of consciousness, source, substance, one power, unlimited, unnameable, everywhere present, known by many, many names. God, creation, spirit, the great mystery, Buddha, Allah, Christ, Christ consciousness, love. By whatever name we know it, it is beyond the finite concept assigned to it. It is self-existent, meaning it has always been. And that all is created out of it. That it is the ground of all being. That everything we experience in form is this one individualizing itself, creating in its image and likeness, and never separate from itself. And so I know that this creative essence that creates out of itself must be present in, through, and as its creation. And so I know that I am made of it, that it resides in me, through me, as me. That the very existence of me is an expressed desire of it to experience itself as my life. And I know that what is true of me in the wholeness of one must be true of every expression. And so just as I am inextricably connected to one, I must be inextricably connected to every expression of it. One whole, perfect, and complete. Everything expressing infinite possibility in form. And so I know that the very nature, the very substance of all is this wholeness, this perfection, this completeness. So I speak my word, claiming and affirming an upliftment of that, an awakening of the magnificence of humanity within every expression of humanity, an awakening of the magnificence of all, the animal, the vegetable, the mineral, the understanding of the interconnectedness and belonging of every expression of creation as necessary, as intentional part of one whole body. I claim and affirm that as I go through this day, I notice God everywhere. I notice life expressing everywhere. And I am intentional and purposeful in my awareness of our interconnectedness, of the belonging of every expression of life. And then I am open to that connection on an experiential level, beyond the intellect, beyond the words, to experience that kinship that is the very nature of creation. And I am grateful for the activity of law, the activity of manifestation within this creative process, that aspect of creation that just receives the idea, that just receives the desire and instantly acts upon it, making it so. And so I can lean into the truth that the solutions are already available. The connection is already available. The wholeness is already available. Always has been. And that speaking the openness to that into being makes it so. That it's already done. The connection is being experienced even as I speak it on a greater and greater level. It can be no other way. The word cannot return void. And so knowing it is complete, I let go of all of the noise in my head that tells me different. I let go of every restrictive, limiting thought. I let go of every judgment, every doubt, every fear. I let go of every yes, but commit myself this day to living the full experience of wholeness available to me. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amin. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.